Hello and welcome to another Gemini Rogues video. This is the Dunkerque Tier V battleship, or some would say it's a battleship. The armour doesn't really show it. Go on then, Killer05, give us some history on this French
It was built for the French Navy in the 1930s. It's the Dunkerque class battleships. It had its sister ship, the Strasbourg, but this was the lead ship of said class.
Oh, okay.
Not really much happening. They were struggling for money after World War I, so they finally got around to building warships again around the 1930s. That's why it took so long for them to get it up. It was laid down in 1932 and finally launched in 1935, but it wasn't completed until 1937.
Wow.
But it then became kind of like the flagship ship for the French Navy.
Yes,
we know the Grafspie went to the coronation of King George. The Dunkerque also went there.
Did it?
Yeah, so
like traffic jam.
Yeah, it didn't really get up too much pre-war. It went around the old French colonial area of the Atlantic, showing itself off. A few other reviews it went to be shown off. And it went till the war started that it finally saw service, to be fair. But that's just standard for a battleship in a war.
Yeah.
Didn't really get up too much. This is a bit of a trait we get from the said ships review, the history-wise of. No, it kind of floated around looking for things and doing a bit of escort duty.
It was a floater.
Yeah, but it never really saw like action, if you know what I mean, until it was a bit too late. It were vulnerable. It were constantly in and out for repairs at the time. I mean, on one trip it went out near Iceland, got into really heavy seas, which nearly broke the ship.
You're joking.
It was found to be incredibly weak and not remedied. Unable to remedy without literally rebuilding it. It had to slow down to 10 knots in said storm, and it nearly broke the bow. That's how weakly built it were.
You've discovered that in some games, haven't you?
Yeah. So in World War II, other than the escort things, it went looking for German ships to fight, but never really found any. But to be fair, France went in the war long. By 1940, they'd signed the armistice with the Germans, and it was at this point that while docked, it kind of ran into the British, who didn't really want it to get into German hands,
I can understand that.
and wanted the French to hand over the battleships to them.
Yeah.
The French weren't willing to do so, as they felt it would break the armistice to sign with the Germans.
Yeah. God.
So they refused.
Yeah.
The British said either scupper them or hand them over.
Yeah.
The French weren't willing to do so, so the British opened fire.
Ooh.
And Dunkirk received 4 hits quite quickly from the HMS Hood, which did quite a bit of damage, but didn't sink her. She was still serviceable, but in a bad way. It was at this point the British decided, let's send some swordfish torpedo planes in. So they did, and the torpedo. In total, 210 people died. 210 people died in these attacks on this ship, and then it was in a really bad way. But still afloat. They managed to get it back to Toulon, where they were going to run some repairs out, try and get it back up and running. And at this point, it was feared it were going to roll into the Germans, and the Germans were coming to seize it. It was in a dry dock at the time, so they opened the floodgates on it. It was right at the back of the dry dock, so it was going to take 3 hours to flood it, to destroy it. They've also put a few charges in there as well to get rid of it. And the Germans got there within an hour, so could easily have stopped it, but in the confusion of the time, just kind of left it. And it got flooded and destroyed. Where it sat there, I mean, the Italians turned up. They tried to claim the salvage rights and decided it's a write-off, we don't want anything to do with this. And then the Italians joined the Allies in the war, so the Germans tried to seize it, various bits and bobs. Eventually it was just a steaming wreck, and by 1955, the rights were just salvaged off and it was just gone.
You're trying to say it was just a steaming floater?
Yeah, again, it's just one of them battleships that never really sees service.
Anyway, let's look at some stats, Killer05, as in game. 62 survivability, sorry, I can't speak. 52,000 hit points, which is quite shy compared to others in Tier 5. Because you've got the Arizona, which is also a premium ship. That has actually got 58,000.
Yeah.
That is quite good.
But it is there with the buy-in, which is just under 52,000.
Look at the armour though, 340 mil.
Which again, the buy-in's only got 350, and that's a bit of a beast. But it's nowhere near the New Mexico and the Arizona, who've got 457 mil.
True, it's a lot of extra armour. Anyway, artillery, which is fairly good. It's not brilliant.
The 330mm guns.
It's okay in Tier 4.
Yeah.
And Tier 5 if you're lucky. If you don't come up against New Mexico's buy-ins.
Who've got
Queen
far
Elizabeth.
bigger guns. Far bigger guns. I mean, with the buy-in itself's got a 380mm gun.
Yeah,
Fuso itself's got
I
356.
think it's Queen Elizabeth's it's not a bad old boat. It's got 381mm guns, so you're going to suffer.
Yeah, they're not a plus point. Let's put it that way.
Put it this way: it's Tier 5 ship. We're talking Tier 5 ships here, not Tier 6. You will see Tier 6s. So they are going to have substantially bigger guns and more armour.
Maneuverability is a little bit of a plus point with it.
It's very quick forwards.
And back.
That's a very good positive. Very, very, very good positive. Reverse speed is about 21 knots, I think. I have used that quite a lot.
I mean, there's some stats on this ship that just don't add up. They're good at, and it doesn't need to be, and we'll discuss that when it comes to play style.
Concealment 39, which is...
It's a battleship.
It's about average, but it gets spotted constantly.
Yeah, it is a battleship, so you're not playing one of these edge of a smoke screen.
It's a very long battleship. When you look at a Bayern, concealment 45.
Yeah. It's about average with the rest, though, to be fair.
Big difference.
I mean, the New Mexico, same 39.
But yeah, but it can fire in smoke.
Yeah.
12 kilometres spotted. What's this? Oh, it's 12 kilometres spotted.
Pretty similar.
Sorry.
So we'll have a look at it, rocking and rolling.
There's some gameplay, man. This is...
Play style. Straight away.
Go on then. How would you play this?
Look at your guns. Where are they?
At the front.
Right at the front. And this was the problem it had when it got found in port by the HMS Hood. It was facing its stern out and could not get its guns to work because they were pointing the opposite direction. And this is a big problem with the Dunkirk, but it kind of makes you play it the way you've got to, which is face on.
Yeah.
You've got to play this face on.
Definitely face on. If you go side on and someone smashes you, you feel it. I think we demonstrate this in this video.
It's paper. The sides are absolutely paper. I mean, your side is on here like a total noob.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in position. I'm trying to get behind this island. Actually, I am going full tilt, going forwards at the moment. I'm trying to get in position, trying to get... Because what I try and do when I play this, I try and get into a position where I can stay front facing, and then I don't really have to manoeuvre left or right, because the minute you show your sides, it's game over. But luckily, all these, well, majority of these ships that I've faced in this game come at me side on until the end, until the Bayern decides to go front on.
I mean, it's another weird trait. The guns are quite quick turning.
Yeah,
for a battleship.
Yeah.
But the fact that's what I'm talking about, where it's got weird stats, that's pretty.
32 seconds it takes them to.
That's pretty pointless in a ship that you're normally just pointing straight forwards in.
Yeah, but
so it's not often that you need that gun rotation to be a positive.
I've actually had a problem where I've been fighting someone from, I'm not saying from the side, but the guns have actually been pointed sideways, and I've wanted to turn and run off, and then the guns are completely the opposite way, and I thought, can't fire.
Yeah.
So I've developed a strategy of reversing.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only way you can play it. I mean, it's pretty hard as well. You can't turn away and run away forwards because you're revealing them. They are incredibly weak, the side armour on them. Incredibly weak.
The other thing I've noticed is that because you always face on, your guns get hit, the turrets.
Yeah.
Even though they've got nice frontal armour, I've actually lost a turret in a game, and it was virtually useless after that, unfortunately. The thing is, if you come across tier 4s, you kind of boss them. I know it sounds strange, but if I was in a fast, rapid-fire cruiser, I'd just fire HE at this.
Yeah, set him on fire.
Set him on fire. Because you probably get close enough to torpedo it, but mate, sit there. But mate, that's low looking, wasn't it? Mainly, if you come across any Queen Elizabeths, or well, actually, I think we do come across an Arizona, but you don't pay me any attention in this game.
Nobody seems to.
I'm a position.
You get a look at everyone's showing you the side as well, which is always handy.
You know when you have one of them games where you take your first couple of shots, you think, this is going to be a good game. Yeah. This ends up being like that.
I mean, he's turned nicely into them shots you've put there, and another citadel.
That's what I mean.
I mean, we bemoan these guns, we've said the guns aren't the greatest, and this is a little bit of misleading the viewer, as when you come across normal battleships you're fighting face on. Yeah. You're not doing a great amount of damage.
No.
Also, with the guns being free in one turret, if you notice, the spread is pretty random. Is it 4? It's pretty random.
It's dispersion at like maximum distance, like 14 kilometres, like 200 metres. You can. Sorry, just.
Yeah. And there's the Arizona we mentioned before.
Yeah, luckily.
And we'll see here. We're going to fire face on Arizona. Let's see what damage we can get on him.
Well, he turns to avoid the torpedoes, which puts him side on, which is very nicely for the destroyers to help us out there, put him in position. But he does turn again in a minute. The what thing I like about this ship.
And there you go. There's that one shot salvo from the side. And look at the damage it's done.
I never knew what it was. It was a Mutsu.
Yeah, which is the most accurate of guns to start with. We've used the old Mutsu, but look how much health it's took off you just from shots. And that's what we're talking about with the side armour on the Dunkerque.
Yeah,
it's just non-existent. You are gonna, if you go sideways on, you're in trouble.
The thing is, I wasn't looking at map. He's actually he's showing up on map.
Yeah.
Oh, I just turned around and would have seen him. I got too excited with these ships in front of me. Look at the spread, man.
And
another
lucky,
citadel.
So here you go. You can see you're trying to keep face onto
the
best
not
you
coming.
can.
And then here you go. I told you
Mutsu. And there's then guns.
It gets
quite quickly.
Quickly. Technically, it's pretty quick compared to everything else. What's the buy-in? 51 seconds, man.
So that's what I mean, but it's a odd trait to have in the fact that it's not a general need you have with this ship where you need the guns to rotate.
Very
Normally,
true.
if you're playing it right, you face on, so your guns are pointing forward anyway, if you've kept them that way, if you know what I mean. So it's not a general trait that you need to swing them around so much.
Do you swing yours around? Yeah.
No. Try not to.
Oh, see, look at the group.
So we're going to finish them off.
Oh, no mercy rolls and ninjured as well.
So you can see that another general trait of this ship is
what's that?
Very good reverse skills. Because you're going to be doing a lot of it. Yeah, it goes back quicker.
That is a French trait, man.
But it's pretty much the best way to play this ship. It's in reverse. It's the best way. Point your front at everything that's fired at you and just keep going backwards.
I was going to say, has it got a French gearbox? It has.
But it works. I'm going to smack the siders on. Nice. Arizona's gone siders on again. And that's another kill. That's 2 kills. What damage are we up to now? So just shy of 85.
I'm actually covering that.
Still backing up.
I'm covering that.
Start to go forward now.
That capture on the map. Look at that, covering it.
And we'll just briefly mention secondaries. Won't mention them. Not the greatest, to be fair.
They're pinned at the back.
Yeah, I mean they're all right if someone's really close to you while you're running off. But other than that, and then again, they're not the best at dealing that much damage. Look at the spread there. That's a random spread.
Bit worrying, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Worries me, that spread, man. New York, Tier 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if so he's just steaming across. I don't think he's even looking at me, to be honest. But you know, I was saying the other day, how you come across some ships, and you start sweating, and you think, oh, Neil.
Yeah.
I was playing a game, and I came across one of these Dunkerques. And I started sweating, and I thought, oh, because it was front on, I could do nothing.
Another citadel.
Target penetrated.
Yeah. They're piling up, aren't they?
Yeah, tell me about it.
I'm actually playing quite well, aren't I? But no, if you're in a lower tier...
I think it depends what you're in. I dare say if you're in some kind of destroyer or light cruiser and you come up against thing and you can get to its flank, then happy days. It's time to play. If he can't keep his front to you and you can take advantage of your team and you can come at it from a different angle, he's in big trouble. He's in big trouble.
Unfortunately, I was in
another citadel.
It gave me that one, didn't it?
Yeah, you come up before you hit him.
So there's a citadel, take it. So I thought, thanks so much. Oh, I was in a Koenig, fully upgraded Koenig Tier 4 German battleship, and I was just like, gave up. Pounded me, man. I couldn't do it against him, like front on. So the armour is kind of like...
It's the usual battleship trait. I think we've gauged that by now, where top tier, you're a beast. Another citadel. Bottom tier, you're going to struggle. It's just how it is when you're a battleship.
I was kind of top tier in this game, even though there's other tier 5s in it. There's no tier 6s.
I mean, just another fun fact.
What?
In its lifetime, when he went out searching for German warships, as I mentioned before, he went searching for your favourite ship, the Scharnhorst.
Really?
Yeah, went looking for him, didn't find him. It's per usual.
Lucky,
went looking for him. I don't know, we're lucky.
I think the French ship was lucky it didn't find him.
And another kill.
The thing is, we're all coming side on.
125. We're still backing up.
It is. You know how we were saying now we've discovered the best way to play this accidentally by just going front on and backing up.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah,
awesome.
It does work awesomely. So Map placement wise, islands are always handy because they can naturally cover your flank, your side of your ship.
Yeah.
But just be careful you're not too far up the map. Use one of the islands. If something gets around the side of you quite quickly without you seeing it coming from said island, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble. So it's catch-22. Like we are now, we are vulnerable from any ship if it wanted to push around the flank and get us. But if you can keep everything in front of us where we know it is now.
You're a big target to destroyers, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then if you get full spreader torpedoes, because the ship is actually quite long in comparison to the others. So I'd be wary of destroyers, definitely, in future games. I mean, what about
lucky buying?
Yeah. Do you remember that? Is it Vicky that was trying to get us when we were playing and he just won't come around the island, really, because he knew what he was going to get. But I think if you position yourself near islands and just be in that position where you can reverse up, because it's awesome at reverse. I know we joke about the French going backwards quite quickly.
Well, this does,
and it does
20
work.
knots backwards.
It really
about 17.9 or something. We clocked it up to once backwards.
I think downhill it was like 21. It does actually go pretty quick. I mean that's forward speed for most other battleships.
Yeah.
So if they're trying to chase you down and you're in your reverse pointing forwards towards them,
it's going to take a long time to close the distance. They're going to catch you, but it's going to take them a long time to get to.
No, but you're ideally thingy. If you're very good at driving back, not driving back, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You can see now we're struggling a little bit now. Look at the damage we're doing now. It's face onto us. What do we do there? About 800 or something like that.
Dispersion,
we're struggling to actually use the guns to the fullest potential now.
I've not used them in this game, but until the last shot actually.
Yeah, you just switch now, haven't you?
HE are very potent. I wouldn't dismiss HE in this, because they are actually quite good. And a very high percentage of setting them on fire. Look at that, nice group in there. We changed the HE. Did
Drop straight down mill. You get 3 or 4.
Oh, sweet. See what I mean?
RNG's is shining very brightly on your escape. With the citadels, the fires, everything.
Oh, ran out of time.
Yeah,
it's very disappointing.
As a ship, I quite enjoyed the Dunkirk to play.
Yeah, same here.
Quite enjoyable.
I do like playing it.
The guns kind of make you play it the way it's got to be played, face on.
Yeah, it's a nice silver, look at that.
Yeah.
Or silver, credit, sorry. It's a nice credit earner. Ours are top as well.
3 kills. Fair bit of damage.
It's good credit earner, it's good fun. I think fun rating, I'd probably give this a 9, I think.
9.
Give it a 9 because it is
fun.
good
I
fun.
do enjoy playing
it is good fun.
The reload, the thing I will mention is the reload's a little bit poor for such a small gun.
Yes.
It could do a little bit of a buff on its reload.
Yeah.
If I were going to query anything about it.
And the dispersion, but that's I think that's accurate dispersion because they're 4 guns in a row. But anyway, Killers 05, thanks very much for all your ship knowledge. Laters.